Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at a new card from the set, and that is Mismagius EX. Obviously in the last video we covered Turo's box, which was quite fun to play, but today we're going to try and get done one of the harder ones I think is going to be a successful video out of, and that is Mismagius EX. So as per usual, in the description below there's going to be usual links over the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play and the outro, what I think of the deck. So, today we're taking a look at the Stage 1 Mismagius EX with 260 HP. Now, on paper this seems usable, but its damage output's quite lacking. So, we have the ability Swirling Prose. As long as this opponent, or this Pokemon, is in the active spot, whenever your opponent's active Pokemon moves to the bench during their turn, their new active Pokemon is now confused. Obviously, this deck mainly relies on confusion, which, so far with my luck with this deck in testing, not been very good. Then we have the attack Hexa Magic for 150 for 2 Psychic Energy, and we may draw cards until we have 6 cards in our hand. Quite lackluster. Obviously we don't really play a way to buff our damage in this list. You could, play Monkey Dories and the like, by putting in Dark Energy, Crispins, etc. But so far with my builds, like testing them, that's been clunky, so I'm not bothered with that. Obviously, confusion is a really awkward mechanic as it is, because obviously the opponent can still retreat, but that's the whole idea on Swirling Prose. Obviously they can easily just, gust us, and that can cause an issue, but we'll get to that, don't worry. So of course, to get the confusion into play, we are playing the new Brambleghast with the Prison Panic ability. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability. Make your opponent's active Pokemon confused. Now we do have the attack Psychic Sphere for 3 Psychic, but I can assure you we're never going to use that. I'm sure some of you would love to see me swing with Psychic Sphere, but yeah, the only real way we get energy to play is hand attachments and Turbo Energize, so, maybe I'll treat you to a Psychic Sphere attack, but I don't think so. To obviously give us an advantage against Dragon decks, we are playing Lillie's Clefairy, which, as I said, we do play Turbo Energize. So we do have the option to do Full Moon Rondo, but obviously it's going to be quite awkward to set it up if we can't get it going. I believe as well I put an EXP share in this list. I did not. I didn't think I did. So yeah, we're going to be hand attaching to the Clefairy, which is kind of bad, but it's mainly here so we can at least do something to the dragons. And then obviously we can Prison Panic them to make them confused. And if we can keep Mismagius in the active, we can obviously rely on the Swirling Prose ability and everything like that. In terms of other support Pokemon, we do have Mew in here. Obviously Mew is just here for draw mainly. We can hand attach 3 times to this, but it feels kind of bad. We do have a Fez in here and a Bloodmoon. Bloodmoon is vital in this deck because you just don't do enough damage. And by the time you've taken 4 prizes, they're probably taken 5. So, Bloodmoon for game is always nice to have as an option. But yeah, I must admit, this is probably going to be a tricky list to get a good video out of, but I'm going to give it a try because, well, it is a new card from the set. The only other card I have left to do is Empoleon, and I was going to do that today. Well, I was going to do it today for you, but I want to get Mismagius out of the way because it is the hardest one to do. So let's go to the deck list and let's have a look. And welcome to the deck list. So, as I said, this is quite a hard card to actually make work. I've not had much success with it. Obviously, when it comes to the deck list and everything in the description, this will be in English. It's just I'm not bothered to change Mismagius over to English, same with the Brambleghast. And also same with the Wonder Patch, because I've just not been bothered. I've not really enjoyed this deck in testing, and I must admit I'm a bit disappointed, but at the same time I kind of expected it when I saw the card. So, So we're playing a 3-3 line of the Misdreavus and Mismagius EX. We're playing a 3-3 line of the Brambleghast and the Bramblin. 1 Fez, 1 Lillies, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna, and 1 Mew. 4 Arven, 3 Lillies, 2 Iono, 2 of Lisia's Appeal. There's a good reason why this card's in here. Switch one of your opponent's bench basic Pokemon to the active spot. If you do, the new active Pokemon is now confused. This is really good against basic only decks, because obviously we do rely on that. But I do play a single copy of Boss in here just to have that as an option. But obviously Lisia's Appeal gives us a free confusion, so we technically can confuse an opponent 7 times in this deck. Because obviously we have Brambleghast, we have the Strange Timepiece, which we'll talk about that in a minute. And we obviously have the Lisia's Appeal. So we do have a lot of options here. Technically 8 if you include Turo. We do play a Turo. And of course 1 Boss's Orders. Then for item cards, we're playing 4 Buddy Poffin, 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Strange Timepiece, which allows us to devolve one of our evolved Psychic Pokemon by putting any number of evolution cards on it into your hand. But that Pokemon can't evolve this turn. So that's why, ideally, you want at least 2 Bramblin down. So then you can evolve one to a Brambleghast to 1 turn. And then if your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out and is no longer confused, you can then use Strange Timepiece on the Brambleghast and evolve it into the fresh Bramblin that's also on your bench. So that's the idea with that. We then play 1 Super Rod as recovery, same with Night Stretcher, 1 Nest Ball, 1 Secret Box as our ace spec, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Switch. This is just general purpose because obviously we do have 2 retreat costs on the Brambleghasts. 1 Energy Switch. This is mainly for the Wonder Patch Energy Switch combo. That's just a nice thing to have. Then of course 2 Technical Machine and Turbo Energize. That's ideally how we want to get Psychic into play. 1 Air Balloon, 3 Dizzying Valley, which is a pretty nice stadium. Each Pokemon that is confused does not recover from that special condition when they evolve or devolve. So again, pretty useful to have, you know, like we can keep evolution decks in check with this stadium. Obviously, I say in check, we don't really keep them in check, but they can just bounce this, but we have to at least try. Then of course, for our energy, we're playing 7 basic Psychic Energy. 7 just seems a good count. And so far, it's been the best count in the deck so far. But yeah, I must admit, I'm not particularly impressed by this card. It's a very much difficult card to get working. And, you know, its damage output's just not very good. And with the way my opponent's, shall we say, head's luck with Confusion's been, yeah, this deck's gimmick is extremely poor. That is also why you will see this card in the future on the Wheel of Pain. This card has been added to the Wheel of Pain. And trust me, there's a good reason for it. Anyway, let's get into some games and see how we do. And welcome to the first game. I'm hoping this goes somewhat well, but like I said, I'm just not very confident with this deck. Like, I don't think my build is bad per se, but I'm just not very confident. It doesn't feel like like the gimmick of this deck just feels very lackluster. You know, like there's plenty of options out there for like, you know, decks to obviously do stuff, but generally speaking, this deck just doesn't feel that great, I'll be honest. We do at least get a somewhat okay start. I'm glad we didn't start the Bloody Bear, though. I'd rather start the Fez out of the 2, for obvious reasons. 3 retreat cost. But yeah, this has not been a fun one. And we're facing Venusaur. Okay, this is going to be a long battle then, because we have to well, no, we can't 3 him. We have to 4-hit a freaking thing. We have to 4-hit him, so that gives you an idea. So we'll Ultra Ball away these. We'll grab a Misdreavus. So we prized a Misdreavus. We've prized a Brambleghast. Obviously, we started the bear, and obviously, well, we started with the bear in hand and the Fez in the active, so that's fine. We've still got Lisia's Appeal in here. That could be useful against their Tealmass, which is pretty nice. So that's pretty useful. Counter Catcher's in there, that's fine. Strange Timepieces in there, and the Evo's in there. We have prized a Psychic Energy, however. So I'll put down a Misdreavus, I'll put down a Dizzying Valley, and our Lilies. I could have played Arven there, but, well, we managed to hit pretty nuts off of that. So we'll Body Poffin, we'll grab another Misdreavus and a Bramblin. We'll attach Turbo Energize to the Fez, attach Psychic Energy, and Turbo Energize. Just in case, I'm going to split the energies on the Misdreavus. Well, Misdreavuses. I'd love to say that 5 times fast, but I'm not going to. But no, like I said, I just don't have the confidence with this deck, I'll be brutally honest. And he gets Candy into Venusaur. Damn. Okay. Straight into the Dizzying Valley as well. And the Lilies as well. Not a bad turn from our opponent, but yeah, we're going to have to 4-hit this damn thing. So, yeah, that's fun. Not. Tildant's coming down. He could attack with Jungle Dump this turn. That's the thing. And, well, there's not a lot I can do about it. Because, like I say, you can just solo transfer and just, you know, start swinging now. So we need to hit off the Lilies I'm going to promote the Bramblin so I can put the air balloon on it. But no, that is nuts off of that. Interested in playing a candy, though. I don't think that's correct. But, I mean, it clearly worked for them. So I can't exactly, you know, argue about that. There's our Mismagius, so that's good. I'm not going to bench Mew. I don't think that's correct. I'll play the Lilies. Okay, we do get everything. Bar the... Well, no, we get the Energy Switch, so that's good. So I'm going to thin this. I'm going to evolve active. So now we can use Prison Panic. So now you're confused, good sir. I'll then throw it into the Mismagius. Energy Switch of the Misdreavus. I'll evolve the Misdreavus whilst I'm at it. I can actually thin, so I'll get rid of Arven and Lilies. I can grab myself another Bramblin. And then we will Hexa Magic for 150. And now we get to draw 5 cards. You can see my idea here, but again, this is just not good enough. I mean, in fact, no, we're not free hitting this. We are free hitting this. Sorry, but then again, he can hit heads and just heal, so that could actually matter. Why did I say I didn't free hit it? I guess I got my maths wrong because I'm sleepy this early in the morning. Let's see if he reads the effect of Swirling Prose, though. Let's see if he reads it. Because he needs 4 energy to retreat this guy. He's not got Meganium down. And obviously if this comes into the active, it becomes confused. There's an Arven. Obviously, he could go for the Jungle Dump and potentially do 240 damage and heal himself, but, you know. Like I said, it's just... Oh, you're joking me, he's got Air Escape. Right, we're gonna be plinking this for a while. Because obviously I didn't put any, like, damage mods in here, like Black Belt, you know, I don't know. You know, like, I didn't put in anything that buffs our damage because I don't see the reason to. But, you know, you could Jungle Dump, potentially get a heads, which, given the luck is how the luck has been with this deck, probably will get a heads. There's Hero Escape onto the Ivysaur. That's fine with me. Bravery Charm to the Genesect. That's just rubbing salt in the wound. Because I now have to 2-hit a Genesect. Attached to the Ivysaur. He could go for Jungle Dump. No matter luck he's going to do, and he's going to get the heads. But like I said, this is one of the most awkward and awful cards I've ever had to use. Genuinely. Is he going to do the Ivysaur? Because he's not attached for turn, I don't think. And there you go, my exact point. He gets the heads and gets to do 240. And also heal, which does actually matter, that heal. It does actually matter. Ooh, okay. That is actually pretty good. So I can Secret Box away Mismagius, Psychic. I'm going to get rid of the Strange Timepiece. I think it's correct to do so. So I'm going to take an Iono. I'm going to take... Where's my Wondrous Patch? Good. It's in there. That's good. And I'll take Dizzying Valley. Then again, I need to Turo this turn. So, yeah. I think it's fine to grab Iono for next turn anyway. So now we will Wondrous Patch to the Mismagius. Attach for turn to Mismagius. Put down Dizzying Valley. Turo the Mismagius. Then I can promote a fresh one. Put down the Misdreavus. Play Rod. So I can get back 2 Psychic and I'll get back the Bloodmoon. Because I think we're mostly out of recovery now. I'll then Hexa Magic for 150. And we will draw 5 cards, or 4 cards, sorry. So if he heals here, I still take it out, which is nice. But like I said, you can see my thought process with this deck. But again, the amount of times that people hit heads on this card is ridiculous. But yeah, I just don't enjoy this card. It's not a very good card. You know, even if I don't get any wins, I'm still going to showcase the deck, because at the end of the day, you know, that's the whole point of this video. I want to at least look at Mismagius, but no, this card is ass. Oh, that's the 1511. Oh, you're using your own spells against me, Potter, are you? Ooh, someone forgot about Swirling Prose. Okay, you're going to heal, that's fine. I get the reasoning for this, funny enough. Wait, what? What just happened there? Did he play an Arven? I was going to say, that was a weird bug. Play the bug catching. No, my luck though, he's going to hit the heads on this and all, and then obviously I'll have to hit heads to attack, and I won't get the heads, I'll hit a tails and hit myself. I don't know. There's a Genesect being powered up. He actually hit the tails. So he hits himself for 30 in confusion. Good. That's very good. Okay, so we might as well get a turn attachment onto the Misdreavus. We'll Buddy Poffin, thin out the Bramblin. I'll Buddy Poffin and just thin that out the deck. I'll evolve the Mismagius. I don't think I want to Iono here, so I'm just going to Hexa Magic and not draw cards. So how many more hits will I need for this? I need to hit it 2 more times. Assuming he doesn't heal it, obviously. Because just because he's confused doesn't mean he can't use his ability. You can see what I mean about this damage output. It's just not good enough, you know? Like, he could just heal 60 every turn, so I'm essentially doing 90 damage a turn. Which, to put that in perspective, I have to hit this thing 5 times. At least we're getting some tails luck at the very least. I have to hit it 5 times. Like, bro, this is crazy. So we get another turn attachment onto this Mismagius. Again, I'm not going to Iono, I'm just going to Hexa Magic for 150. Because he heals for 60, so that'll take him to 240. He'll then go to 270 because of the potential confusion damage back to him. But again, this is what I mean. This is essentially a 3 prizer that I'm hitting into, but it's only worth 2 prizes because of that damn cape. But again, this is just how this deck has been running. Like, it just doesn't hit hard enough. If you play Crispin with, like, Monkey Dory, you're just filling up your bench spaces, you know? You're not really benefiting yourself. Vessel. Away the Ultra Ball, that's fine. I mean, at least we're getting use out of the Swirling Prose, I guess. I don't know if it's said any differently. I'm just going to say Prose because it's easier. I don't know if it's like Projet or something like that. I don't know, but someone can correct me in the comments, I guess. But no, look at all this energy across his board. This is absolutely mind-boggling. Has he used his heal yet? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. He hasn't healed yet. This is a very cool Venusaur list, though. I do like this. Solar Transfer. He could start going in with Bug Cannon, but again, he'd have to hit the heads. That's 5, so it's 20 for each grass energy, isn't it? Yeah. So he could take out the Brambleghast on the bench. Tranquil Flower, heal itself. But again, he has to retreat this. He's going for the confusion. He does get the hit. That's unfortunate. That's fine. Obviously, we do take 150 in poison. He's doing it so he can do this with the Genesect. So I get the reasoning why he's doing this. There's Counter Catcher. That's pretty good. We could Counter Catcher the Mega Venusaur here. But I actually think it's correct to CC the frickin' Genesect. But at the same time, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit the Venusaur. Obviously, our ability is only when they do it, so just bear that in mind. I'll bench the Mew and restart for 1. Okay, that's fine. We'll just Iono. Okay, there's Brambleghast. That's good. We at least get the value off of that. Prison Panic. So retreat into the Mismagius. I'm debating not attaching this because it will go down to this Genesect if he can get it off. I'm actually debating putting it on the Mew, and I think it's correct to put it on the Mew here. So a Night Stretcher. take back a Psychic just so we have it. And I'll Hex a Magic for 150. I'm not going to draw because we're all getting very close to running out of cards in deck. This is when it's in the active, yes. So that's why I'm sort of doing it as well. I'm forcing him to retreat this Venusaur if he wants to keep it around. Now, we still have a boss potentially using, or to use, but this is not looking good. Because like I said, we're very low on cards in deck, and we only play a limited amount of recovery. But I mean, look at the bulk on his guys. I mean, 380, 440 on a 2-prizer is just crazy. But no, genuinely, I do like this approach that he's doing here. This is really spicy. He's doing it to the Genesect again, interestingly enough. He's going for Confusion. And he heads, he knocks himself out. We take 3 prize cards. Ooh, that is bad for my opponent. We take 3 prize cards. There's Switch and Brambleghast. Okay, he knows I can't knock it out in one shot, but, you know. I'll touch the Mew. I can Brambleghast here. We should still have a... yeah, we do still have a Strange Timepiece in deck, so that's fine. So I'll love the Brambleghast. Prison Panic. Hexa Magic. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Obviously, you can heal 60 here, but it doesn't matter, because we can just gust this later with the boss in deck. That's if it is in deck, I didn't check. But no, this is going surprisingly well. The fact that he doesn't really play switch outs is what's really benefited us here. Like, we do have that benefit. There's another Bulbasaur, that's fine. This is getting really close. This is getting really close. Straight into the Ivysaur. And straight into the Mega Venusaur, so he's making our job even harder. Tranquil Flower. Which doesn't matter. The heal doesn't matter here. But no, this has been really stressful, this game. He hits the heads, but we do get to take this out. All we do is switch into the Mew and then free retreat back in. We just switch into the Mew and then free retreat, so we can get this attack off. So I'll play switch into the Mew. Free retreat. Back into the Mismagius. Put down the Dizzying Valley. Iono. There's Bloodmoon. Bloodmoon can win us the game. Hexa Magic. Do not draw cards. How are we winning this? How are we winning this? There's the Psychic Energy, so if he comes up with a Genesect to try and promote Single Prizer, we can win this next turn. Obviously now, there is no confusion in effect, so this is something we need to bear in mind. There is no confusion in effect. So if we can draw into our Lisia's Appeal, we can win with Bloodmoon Ursaluna plus Psychic onto one of the Teal Mask or the Genesect. We can win. Somehow we can still win. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Solar Transfer. He's going in with a Mega Venusaur. This is his correct line, I think. This is his absolute correct line. I agree with him here. This is his best shot. Iono, that's fine. We do lose the Bloodmoon, but we could still get Lisia's Appeal plus Psychic Energy. There's Lillie's Determination. That is a usable card. So we just need Psychic plus... what is it? In fact, no, that won't do it. He's putting it on the Genesect, preparing that. That's fine. Juggle for knockout. We need a miracle off of this now. This has gone a lot better than I thought it would. There's Nest Ball. So we can get the Bloodmoon out. We just need Energy plus Lisia's Appeal. That is so close to it, but that's not it. That is so close, but that is not it. I mean... because I can't devolve the Brambleghast, I could put Bloodmoon in front, but then they just win with Genesect. So, but then again, they need to put more energy down. They need to put more energy down. So I think we do that. We just go with a Bloodmoon. We Lilies. In fact, no, Lilies was a misplay. We lose. You know what? We would have lost anyway. It's fine. I'm going to go down fighting. That was so close. Nah, it's fine, mate. I'm not bothered. Alright, now you just BM and you just pass it in. But no, we really didn't have a lot of options there. I'd rather go down, you know, on my own terms, so to speak. But no, that was intense. Genuinely, that was intense. I don't know how we did so well with that. But hey, I guess, you know, like, confusion can sometimes be on my side. Let's go to a game 2. And welcome back to game 2. That was one of the most stressful games I've had in a long time. If only I'd have looked before I played that Lilies. Because for some reason I thought I had 7 cards in deck. I don't know why I did. But no, we unfortunately lost that. We would have probably lost anyway, because he could have just gone into the Genesect, Teal Dance twice, if he'd have found recovery. But yeah, that was just unfortunate. Still, that's just how it goes sometimes. But no, that went a lot better than I thought, but I still just hate the fact that we have to multi-hit so many things. Genuinely, it's so annoying. Okay, we do start the Bramblin, that's fine. But no, generally this is one of the most awkward decks I've ever had to use. Even if we had damage mods, we'd have still lost that game. And it's Lucario. Okay, we could be okay here, you know. I mean, I say that. Not really, because they can still just one-shot our Misdreavuses. Well, our Mismagiuses. Yeah. Well, let's hope for a miracle then, shall we, folks? But no, I must admit, that match stressed me out quite a bit. So that's probably why I'm not thinking straight. Are you joking me? Another Hero's Cape deck? Come on! Oh, God's sake, I'm sick of these Hero's Cape decks. I'm not sick of that, though. We'll get rid of Arven's, it's fine. We can just grab another. In fact, no, we don't even need to. We can just grab Lilies. We can grab Vessel, because we're going to need that. Turbo Energize, Dizzy and Valley. Bench. Vessel away, one of them. We've got a couple of Psychic in the prize cards, but that's fine. Do that. Do that. Do that. Lilies. Okay, we do at least get something here. That's good. And don't sneaky placement. We will Turbo Energize. And like last time, we'll split the energies. I think the stress got to me last game, like, because of how much, you know, we had to manage there. That's probably what got to me there. But, you know, I'm not gonna, like, sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm just gonna say how it is. Oh my god. 440 HP Mega Lucario. This is not gonna be fun. Not gonna be fun at all. Crispin. Okay, I don't get the reasoning for that in this deck, but sure, you do you, my friend. Lilies for 8, can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Luminous Energy, okay, sure. And Aura Jab for knockout, fair enough. Alright, well he's going to have a shocking surprise when he sees what this deck revolves around. Let's promote the Misdreavus. There's another Dizzy and Valley, but we're not going to use that. So we'll do that. We'll Lilies first, because then we can get 11 cards drawn. We're still whiffing on the Mismagius, so we need to flip script. We whiff. That is so bad. That is so bad. We can confuse it, I guess. So Body Poffin. We've also surprised we've got a Misdreavus in hand, so that's fine. I can do this, I guess. Petty Grudge for 40. Why not? The math doesn't help us, but, you know. He can just retreat this off and then go into this fresh Lucario, but no, within the Mismagius there is just kind of bad. Like, completely bad. Ultra Ball. Yeah, like I was saying, like, you're more than welcome to point it out in the comments, but yeah, I think the stress just got to me in that game, you know. But it's fine, you know. Like, just the stress of managing all of that. Surfer? What the f... I'm sorry for my language here, but what the fuck are you cooking? Whatever. Alright. We lose another Misdreavus, which is unfortunate. Right. We need to Arven for turn here. We're not going to use that in this matchup, that's for sure. So we need Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, Clefairy, Lisia's Appeal. We'll grab ourselves a Mismagius, which we have prized one of them. That's completely fine. Evolve. Attach. Do I get value for the Strange Timepiece instead? Because then I can keep this one in deck. I think so. It's just so we get value off of it in deck. That's my thought process. Because if we get Iono, we keep this one in deck, at the very least. Fez for 3. Okay, that's good. That's another one. There's energy in there, so that's good. So we'll do that. And Hexamagic 300. We don't need to draw cards. We've got enough in hand. And obviously if he retreats this Lucario, this one becomes confused. So we can start picking apart his strategy. There's another Riolu. Interesting, that's the 70 HP one. I only played the 80 HP once when I did my Lucario video for that reason. What's this? Oh, he's going in with a single prizer. It's not going to do any damage, mate. Unless you start popping Power Pros, that's going to do no damage. Arven. What is he doing? This literally does no damage. Fighting Owl late, but that doesn't do anything. You have more prize cards remaining than me. Is this like a healing Lucario sort of strategy? Because if so, I'm very confused by it. Pun intended. He's going for the confusion. He gets the heads, but you don't do any damage. What was the point of that? I don't know. Okay, Body Poffin is nice to get. So we'll do that. Just to have a look in the deck. Our boss is... I think we discarded it, didn't we? No, it's in the prize cards. Okay. That's fine. We could just take this out, but like we just lose it immediately to a Lucario. I've really no evidence of Premium Power Pro, so I'll do that as well. I'm going to Strange Timepiece to Brambleghast on the bench. And I think we just take it out with Hexamagic. I'm fine to do that. We'll draw cards. We'll draw 2. That's fine. This is a very strange Lucario build. There's Mew, but Mew's not going to help us. Obviously, we do have the type advantage, but the point is that, you know, we don't have the way in which we deal with this guy very easily. Crispin? Huh? Dark Psych... Well, Dark Fighting, maybe? Psychic? What the frick? What is happening with his deck? What do you play in there that needs Psychic Energy? Maybe this is just more optimized for, like, beating Pull and stuff? Maybe? I don't know what this guy's cooking, but I think he's left the... I think he left the stove on. He doesn't even take us out with Mega Brave. That's brilliant. Okay, that's fine. We can attach here. Yeah, we just take it out with Hexamagic. Take 3 prize cards. Okay, there's our Mismagius EX out of the prizes. That's good. And a balloon, so if he tries to gust. But no, this is a really strange Lucario build. I've never seen anything like it. Psychic Energy, Luminous Energy. Like, I've seen Luminous pop up once or twice. You know. Okay, that literally does nothing for you because I hit 300. I could probably Turo the Fez this next turn. Which is probably correct. Like I say, I've seen no evidence of Premium Power Pro. He could play one, and I just don't know it yet, but he could play one. I've seen no evidence of it, but, you know. I'd love to know what the Luminous is for and the Psychic's for. That I do want to know. That's just Swirling Pro's effect. There's the Fighting Owlate again. Again, that literally does nothing for him, because I hit 300. That is fine. So we'll promote the Mismagius, and then we'll Brambleghast and everything like that. We'll force him to have the knockout, pretty much. So let's see what we can get here. That's fine. We will evolve the Brambleghast. Prison Panic. Super Rod. You. So I want a Turo this turn, ideally. I'm going to Fez first, see if we get anything off the Fez. Nothing particularly great. So I'm going to Turo the Fez. And yeah, we'll just Hex and Magic 300. Even if we did play damage mods, that still wouldn't have killed it, because, you know, 440 HP. His best hope here is to pop a Power Pro and then obviously use Mega Brave and just hope for the best, but like I said, I have seen zero evidence of Premium Power Pro. I don't even think he plays it. Another way in which he wins is Monkey Dory plus attachment with Dark or Luminous. He's just going to go for the confusion. And that's game. That's game to us. So I'm not going to waste this guy's time. I'm just going to Hex and Magic 300 and take game. What was that deck? I don't know, but yeah, that was interesting to say the least. But no, that Venusaur match proper stressed my poor brain cells, but oh well. Still, that went a lot better than I expected. Obviously, with my test matches, I really had no confidence, but I have somewhat confidence now with this deck, but I still don't think it's very good. So, what did I think to the deck? It went a lot better than I expected, as I said. I do think it's a case of this deck just doesn't hit hard enough. I think if it did 280 or 180 like Blissey, it would be so much better. You know, like you'd have that option just so much more consistently. But to, you know, like put it on a stage 1 with 260 HP, which is really easy to hit these days. You know, I really wish this attack did 180 and then it's at least a lot more usable. Because, you know, you'd be doing at least 180 back-to-back whilst keeping Confusion in play, you know. You'd have that option. But because it does 150, it's just not good enough. As we saw with the Venusaur game, this card just sucks in that matchup. You know, like, yeah, my misplay at the end because of the stress and everything got to me. I didn't check how many cards I had left in deck. You know, that was obviously my fault and not the deck's fault. But even then, I was just plinking those Venusaurs. I was doing pretty much nothing to them. You know, like, it's one of those things where, like, the effect of, like, the card's attack just isn't good enough. And if you play damage mods, you're eating into the consistency. And obviously the whole point of the deck is you want to recycle your Brambleghast and stuff like that. Obviously use Lissia's Appeal, which we didn't even get to use in this video. But, you know, the point is that I think this deck, well, this card, needed to hit 30 more than it actually does. Now, yes, you can put in Defiance Band. Obviously, we do play Arven, so that is a valid card to consider. But again, when you're making the space, is what I'm trying to say. When it comes to other types of damage mods, like Black Belt, you don't play Way to Search that. Obviously, you do play Secret Box, but ideally, you want to be playing Secret Box turn 2 or turn 3. You don't really want to be using it just to grab a supporter, which is just to buff your damage. Like I said, maybe a Monkey Dory variant. I've not tried a Monkey Dory variant. Could be better. But I realistically don't think it would be. It's one of those that, like, you're eating into your bench space. You need to play Crispins at that point, just to help maximise your energy output and everything. But ultimately, I just don't think this card is worth building around, and that's why it's on the Wheel of Pain. Although, it did do well. I will give it credit, it did do well. And if the Wheel of Pain does come up with this card, I at least know where to start. Anyway, I'm going to leave it all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the games of Mismagius EX, and I'll see you next time.